Alrighty, this is KC9VKV station calling. Come back with the call sign, please. The Victor Echo 3 station, come back with your call sign, please.
Victor Echo 3, X-ray, Yankee.
Roger, Roger. This is KC9VKV. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike. Roger.
Jim, good afternoon there to you. It's nice to catch up with you again. I see we've, according to my software, we've worked, December, Christmas time. Around there last year there on 80 meters. So nice to work. Thanks for the second band. The name on this end, refresher, is Sean, and we're about 40 miles west of Toronto there. You got a good signal down this way, Jim. We're just on the brink of expecting a good freezing rainstorm over the next couple of days, so it should be fun. KC9VKV CE3XYY.
Roger, Sean. Now, are you sure that's going to be rain and not snow?
Well, it depends where we are. It's funny. We're just west of Toronto here. We're supposed to get freezing rain, and I'm actually heading up to the cottage in a few hours. We're supposed to 3.5-hour drive north of here, and it's going to be snow up there, snow event up there. And then tomorrow, or I guess for Saturday, it'll be a snow event for Saturday, and then Sunday it'll be freezing rain for both locations. Go ahead.
I see. So now you're going to have to keep track of all those conditions and be in the opposite places when things are not in your liking weather-wise, Roger?
Roger. Well, that's it. We're going up there to turn the sump pump on because it's not plugged in yet, and run the hose out the window, the window for the cottage location. And there's no antennas up there to worry about. And then get home to watch the hex beam and all the wire antennas up back at home. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. Now listen, I have a plan for you. I have developed this mechanism. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg thing, but you know, Home Depot sells these little water detectors, leak detectors. You know, when you get water, a little bit of water on the floor.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with them. I don't have one, but I'm familiar with them.
Roger, Roger. Okay, I take a tap off of the enunciator on that device and run it to a little audio amplifier. Now this is you know, you can't go to Radio Shack and get nice little cabinets to put things in, so I put this in one of those tidy bowl things, you know, 35-pound jobbers that you take all the stuff and put in the cat box. Well, I didn't have anything to mount it in but that. But anyway, so I take this sensor, take a tap off the sensor, run it into an amp, and then I had this thing left over from, I guess 1978, was a psychedelic light modulator. You know, you would feed audio into it and it would turn lights on to the beat of the music. Well, then I plug a little transformer, wall wart, into that, and that activates a very large relay that turns on the shop vac. I've got a 12-gallon shop vac, so when the water gets censored, it turns on the, you know, puts a signal into this this audio amp, and then the audio amp amplifies it up and runs the light modulator, which turns on the power vac, and it runs for about I don't know, about 6 seconds, and just takes out all the water, you know, down to the below the sensor level of the Home Depot sensor there. And this is a new one that has a drain on the bottom. So I have this this line that I hook to that, and then it runs to the sump pump. So I never have to mess with it anymore.
Roger. Yeah, that's very ingenious. That would work. The cottage property, the basement's it's a dirt floor, sand floor. We had to cover it with some plastic tarpaulin and then some little foam pad things on top of that. So the sump pump's kind of dug down in a little plastic container. You drill a bunch of holes in and covered it with actually mosquito net to stop the sand from plugging it up. And it does a pretty good job. I was going to run the hose out out through the wall, but it's only needed for literally a couple of weeks of the year. But normally we put it out now. But there's still about 6 inches of snow up there. There's still about 6 inches of snow up there, Jim. So we're really late in the season this year. We're probably easily a month behind where we should be. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Well, you know, I'll tell you, it's the hardest thing that you'll ever battle is water. And I'll almost guarantee you that you'll always lose because water is the most persistent thing on earth.
Tell me about it. Tell me. It's a lakefront property. It's only 70 feet from the lake. And the water comes up as the lake approaches on the cottage property. On the building and structure itself, the water level table comes up too. And our well we have is just a sump. It's just a what do you call it? Just buried. I can't think of it now. It's just in the. We got the well is just dug down in the ground. I got a hose down the ground. It's not down by far, maybe 8 feet, 6 to 8 feet, and we're taking water out of that. So it's just I guess you want to call it. It's not even really a dug well. It's just keeps right at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it's not drilled, it's not dug. It's I just can't think of it, but it just goes to. We use the pump there, and it pulls it out from there, and that's how and it supplies water year round. So the water is never an issue, but the problem is the water can be an issue in the basement. But we've only owned the place for about 30 years, but some of the neighbors have been up there for 50 plus years. And if we only started the last 5 years, let's say, it's only been an issue. All the other years before that, never an issue. Now what's changed? There's a dam on the lake that feeds into a small town called Bancroft, and that's what's the biggest adjustment. It depends how much water they let out or don't let out, and that's what causes the flooding at the cottages. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, and it turns out that you and your neighbor are at odds about how much probably they want to, modify the drain of that lake. It's one of. And would you have a problem if you tried to export the water off of the sump pump outside? If it was freezing, would that freeze the exit pipe?
Well, that could be an issue too. Yeah, it's in a sand point. That's what it is. It's just a sand point buried into the sand floor of the basement, and that could be an issue. But if it is, it's just going to melt back inside and then back into the container. Once it gets to a certain level, try to pump it out again. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. Well, like in my case, boy, I've had a headache for a number of years, and at one point I had a French drain put in, but only on two sides of the basement. The one side of the basement connects to the rest of the house, so there's not a problem there. But there was one wall on the outside that we didn't do, and obviously that's where we have the problem now, So just take it from me, if you ever get a French drain put in, get it done on all three sides or all four sides, if that's what it takes, But might as well do that as opposed to have to do that, add another wall later on, Roger.
It's funny, Jim, we live in an old house. We're in an old farmhouse here, so we're probably in excess of 135 years old, the farmhouse. And the basement, it's just timber supports and whatnot. It's kind of more of a dungeon than anything. It's dry. I'll get at that. It's dry. It's never had any issues. Of course, there's no drainage around there. It's a house that doesn't have any. I guess drawing a blank here and everything this morning. Anyway, there's no extra drainage put in. There's no floor drains on it. There's no leaking tiles around the house or anything. And it's just it's in the front of the place. It's kind of midway on a hill, halfway down a hill, if you want to say. And it's always been dry, so we luck out there. Go ahead.
Roger. Now I live on a bluff, kind of at the edge of a bluff there, and it's about 150 feet. Down to on the other side, down to ground, So I guess we're about 150 to 175 feet above average terrain, And I specifically got the house because of the location, I figured, gosh, if we ever had water problems up here, the rest of the world would be under 150 feet of water. But, water problems will follow you regardless of where you are, Roger.
Yankee Kilowatt Victor.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, definitely. I heard on a station in there. The Yankee Kilowatt Victor. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. Just a moment here. I'm trying to check my audio. The call is Kilo Bravo 4. Yankee Kilo Victor. I'm an aeronautical mobile, and I've got a new microphone over.
Yeah, Roger. KV4 Yankee Kilo Victor Aeronautical Mobile. Well, the new microphone sounds good. It sounds good up here. My name's Sean, and I'm just west of Toronto there. Jim's, I think he's down in Indiana. He may give you a report there. Go ahead, Jim.
Roger, Roger. Aeronautical Mobile, do you copy KC9VKV?
Yes, sir, I certainly do. You're quite loud up here, over.
Roger, are you airborne at the moment?
Yes, sir, I sure am.
Roger, Roger. And what altitude would you, what's your location and what altitude?
We're on the mover, so I can't give you very specifics, but I am over the state of United States, over.
Roger, Roger. Can you give me your altitude? Is that classified?
That goes along with the altitude, but I'm high enough up to hear you real good, over.
All right. Yes or no? Are you above 5,000 feet?
Roger.
Are you above 10,000 feet?
So you guys are going to have a good day today, huh?
Well, you certainly are doing a good job. And I know you can't give me your specific location, but are you up there where it's real cold?
Have a good day. Thank you for letting me come in and share a little bit of my time. It's kind of weird talking to radio people. Things going on. You guys got a good conversation. Thank you for letting me come in.
Roger, Roger, Aeronautical Mobile. You kind of faded out there, but we are rolling video on our QSO-VLOG, incidentally. If you might be interested there, Aeronautical Mobile, if you happen to go to YouTube and you did a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that would bring up our QSO page, and right at the top is one that's a list that has 170 something QSOs in it. And if you might open that one up, you would probably find this conversation, this QSO, just under Art Bell. Roger, Roger?
Copy that. And thank you for the info. I'll check with the person in charge to see if you're allowed that, over.
Roger, Roger. Three's up there, sir, and have a good day and be safe. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, very good there. Aeronautical Mobile, you're doing a good job back this way in outside of Toronto. So you sound, the microphone's working, we can hear you, we can hear you too. So where we are, safe travels there. KV4YKV, this is VE3XYY.
And Sean, I didn't get to the part that we are running audio and video on this QSO, and probably will be posting it on YouTube in the next couple of days. I'd hate to put a specific date on it because, you know, sometimes we get jammed up, but probably within 3 days from now we'll have it posted. So again, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and that will take you to our QSO page, and then if you go to right to the top, there's one that has about 170 QSOs, and if you click on that, it'll bring up a whole list, all of them, matter of fact, and right at the top will be Art Bell, and this QSO should be somewhat just below Art Bell. Roger?
Very good there, Jim. Yeah, I think I can find that. What are you using for the radio over there, and what are you using to record the QSO?
Well, let's see. This is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ART preamp, into a third octave equalizer, and then up to the tabletop, and I have a 6-position rotary switch that selects the radio that I'm going to use, plus a toggle on, toggle off talk, and then a little remote control pot for the output of the Yaesu 990, which I'm using as the transceiver. And the audio out comes over to this little pot, so this thing is designed to just ride level on the audio signal as best as possible to take care of fades and stuff like that. But like I say, the Yaesu 990 is the radio that we're using, and then the output of it goes to a SB220, Heathkit SB220, and then up to an inverted, I used to just call it an inverted V dipole, but it is offset, off-fed, off-center, off-fed, and because of the way I tune it using the ground side as the SWR adjustment and the high side to bring it on frequency, and I keep going back and forth to eventually, there's 3 dipoles up there, and each one of them is running a 1.01 to 1. So it does real well that way, and it turns into another type of dipole, which the name escapes me at the moment, but it's the high side after it's all said and done is about 15% or 20% longer than the ground side, but you're running 1.01 to 1 on frequency. Roger?
Roger. I can take it. You're going. You got a long way of doing it, I think, but it works. It works very well. Very good. That was the 990s and the 220. And the dipole sound good. It's up here. It's just a simple station, just ICOM 7300, and we're running about 400 watts to help us out there. The antenna is an end-fed, and it's up about, it's sloped a little bit, about 65 feet on one end and 40, maybe 38 feet on the other end, and that's kind of the setup here there. But the property drops off to from the southwest, so it gives us a good shot in that direction. Go ahead.
Roger. And Sean, how much power are you running now?
Yeah, about 415 watts according to the meter.
Roger. We're doing just at a KW, right at a KW there, and I guess that's a pretty true reading because our SWR is almost non-existent. Sometimes the higher SWR does not bode well for reading wattage very correctly on that meter, but since ours is down to 1.01, I would think every watt would be a reality there. Roger.
Oh, definitely very good there. I have to bow out to Jim. The wife just got home from with the horse, so it's time to get ready and then head up to that cottage property I was speaking of earlier there. So we're nice to catch up with you again and see you here on the 40. Thanks again for the second band, and the radio works. It's working very well there. So look forward to hearing the recording and get a chance to hear how the audio is on this setup here. Take care and have a good weekend, and hopefully catch you again soon. KC9 Victor Kilo Victor from VE3XYY. Take care, Jim. Bye bye.
Roger, Sean. Before you go, just to verify the call sign VE3XYY, correct?
Roger.
And did you happen to copy the call sign of the Air Mobile?
Yeah, Roger. Aeronautic Mobile was Kilo Bravo 4, Yankee Kilo Victor.
Kilo Bravo 4, Yankee Kilo QB Bravo?
Yankee Kilo Victor. Victor has Victoria.
Oh, okay, Victor. And that's Yankee Kilo Victor?
Roger, YKV. That's what I heard anyway.
Excellent. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. You have a good day, sir. I hope you avoid all the unpleasant weathers that prevail, and I hope you're in the opposite places each time the weather is at the other place. So 3's to you, Sean. Catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.